is certain that the death of Mullahay will relieve the fears of the terrorized folk of Nashkel. But you remain uneasy. While the half-orc may indeed have caused the evils that befell the mine, the shortage of iron is too widespread to be his doing alone. His letters confirm your suspicions, and though they give little indication as to where his cohorts are hiding, they may have links to the bandits that currently plague the coastway.
And so chapter 3 begins, and now we will spend quite a bit of time here, in this cave, reading this letter, and trying to make sense of what's going on. First we'll read this one, which comes first in chronological order. My servant Mullahay, I have sent you the kobolds and mineral poison that you require. Your task is to poison any iron ore that leaves this mine. Don't reveal your presence to the miners, or you will find yourself swarmed by soldiers from the local Amnish garrison. My superiors have recently hired on the services of the Black Talon mercenaries and the Chill. The Chill, by the way, is a group of hobgoblins which we did dispatch when we were in the Alcaster Temple region, actually. And when we met with them, they said that they would take any gold or iron from us. So they were interested in metal, essentially. So, yeah, this is quite interesting. With these soldiers at my disposal, I should be able to destroy any iron caravans entering the region from the south and east. I don't want to deal with iron coming from the Nashkel mines, so don't fail in your duty. So, a Terzan Satok, a certain Tazok, leads these operations, and he placed Mullahay here to make sure that any iron that leaves the mine would be contaminated and unusable. And this Tazok is an orc, as we have learned by talking to Kievan. We have that in chapter 2. Kievan hunts after, not an orc, an ogre. Yeah. So, and he was the leader of some bandits, as our conversation with Kievan revealed.
And if that's your desire.
So Mullahay was but a pawn, and it might be that Tazok himself is but a pawn, but we don't know at this point. Let's read the other letter. My servant Mullahay, your progress in disrupting the flow of iron ore, does not go as well as it should. How stupid can you be to allow your kobolds to murder the miners? With your presence revealed, you should be wary of enemies sent to stop your operation. Your task is a very simple one. If you continue to show that you can't do the job, you will be replaced. I will not send the kobolds you have requested, as I need all the troops I possess to stop the flow of iron into this region. With this message, I have sent more of the mineral poison that you require. If you have any problems, then send a message to my new contact in Beregost. His name is Transic, and he'll be staying at Feldeposts Inn. Well, we do have a name and a location. So we will be investigating that shortly.
With pleasure.
Actually, not shortly at all, because I have a lot of other things in mind. But that does give us a lead into chapter 3 at least.
It is a fine day to die.
What do you want?
Okay, well that wraps up the investigation for now. Let's turn on to the other point of interest here. That is the Mage's Zahn. Now, some of you may be familiar with that name, either if you've played Baldur's Gate before, or if you followed my Neverwinter Nights 2 Mask of the Betrayer LP. This is the name I gave to my character, and it was in tribute to this NPC from Baldur's Gate. Zahn is my favorite NPC.
I thank you for my freedom, friends, for I have languished in these dismal vaults too long.
He is very, very well voiced by actually a famous voice actor. I don't remember his name, but I could dig that up. And he says, "It was unbearable, waking each morn to the mud and rock instead of the rising sun. I am Zahn, a grey cloak of Evereska, and as proficient in the ways of magic as any man can be. If you be enemies of Mullahay, I would join your cause, hopeless though it is." How did you come to be trapped in such an inhospitable place? Alas, I was sent to investigate the strange going on about this area, and I landed caged for seemingly hopeless weeks on end. I have not seen the sun almost as long as I have not seen my home. Certainly, you are welcome to join with me. Another pair of hands can only help, especially when they wield powerful magics. I thank you. However ineffective our actions be, I shall not rest until I have made payment to you. If you have searched through Mullahay's treasure, you may have found a sword among his documents. The sword is a moon blade, and it is among my most valued possessions.
We're all doomed.
Zahn has the best replies in the game.
Whatever. Life is so hollow. What is the point? Our quest is vain, if you want.
Yes, everything he say is depressing. Everything he says, I mean. And he also has one of the coolest weapons of the game. And I think it looks cooler than that in the original Baldur's Gate. It looks like it has this flaming animation that you actually see in game. But in Baldur's Gate 2, unfortunately, it just looks like a blue sword with no animation. Which sucks, but anyway, this potent weapon was created by the smiths of ancient myth Draenor. Moonblades are used in the long process of selecting a ruler for the Isle of Evermeet. A moonblade chooses its owner, and this particular sword has chosen the elf Zahn. Only Zahn can use the blade. Anyone else who tries will find himself unable to lift the sword. This particular moonblade increases resistance to fire and gives its user a bonus to his armor class. So it seems that at some point, Zahn was selected as ruler for the Isle of Evermeet. So he's not any nobody mage. He's actually an important character in his homeland. And you may notice that he does not have the same class as he normally has. Now, as much as I love Zahn for his personality, BioWare has made him the worst possible type of mage, that is an enchanter. Enchanters are forbidden from casting any invocation spell, evocation spell that is, and those really form the bread and butter of a mage's arsenal. Spells like Magic Missile, Fireball, Chromatic Orb, etc. All these spells are extremely useful, and unfortunately, enchanters cannot cast them, so that basically makes Zahn useless. Well, not entirely, but still. I wanted him to be my most powerful mage, and so I made him a sorcerer. Another very good reason for doing that is that there are no sorcerers in the game, unless you play one. And that is also the situation in Baldur's Gate 2 Shadows of Amn. So, the only way you'll get to see a sorcerer at some point is by modifying an NPC, unless you actually play one. So, I'm not big on modding the game to alter characters or quests or dialogue, because I believe that BioWare made a pretty much perfect job, and I don't like altering the experience. I feel like it deters from the feeling of, the vanilla feeling of Baldur's Gate, which is what I love. But for Zahn, I believe I had many good reasons to make him a sorcerer. And he will be a much more useful ally like this. He starts with the spell, the Magic Missile, and Protection from Petrification. These are, by the way, not the spells he starts with normally, but those I have chosen. And he will get quite a few level ups immediately. We'll give him Identify. Oh yeah, finally we'll be able to identify our stuff. Isn't that cool? And Sleep, which is always useful. Mirror Image and Glitter Dust at level 2. Mirror Image, immensely useful defensive spell. And Glitter Dust, this will be the first time I really use the spell. But as per its description, it's basically a Greater Malison and Dispel Invisibility combined. The only problem is that it has a saving throw and it doesn't last for very long. But still, it looks like a very potent spell. And our first level 3 spell will be Haste. Haste is maybe the most powerful buff. It's actually quite broken because it gives you an extra attack each round, -2 initiative bonus. Basically, it doubles your effectiveness. It doubles the effectiveness of the entire party at fighting, so it's insanely useful.
We're all doomed.
So, another nice thing is that the Ring of Wizardry works for sorcerers. It was never thought to work for sorcerers because at the time they hadn't put in the sorcerer class. But it does mean that we can cast 12 magic missiles or identifies or anything we want.
You disturb me.
And so we'll use that very well.